What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Lost Boyz Gaming Podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Trent Anderson, and I'm joined again, as usual, by Mitch. How you doing today, Mitch?
I am a little under the weather, but I'm alive and doing well.
Yeah,
so glad to be here.
Glad you're doing a little bit better. I know you've been out of commission for a little bit, so we're glad you can hop on tonight. So we've had a ton of stuff that's happened over the last couple weeks. We just had a Pokemon Presents where we got another trailer, and then they dumped a bunch of stuff on the official website to give us a bunch of new stuff. The two leakers, Riddler2 and Kaka, who have both said they were done, have since resurfaced and are just dumping all sorts of stuff. I feel like I haven't had a really chance to even cover what's been going on because it's just been rapid fire nonstop, and there's just so much, and it's like. And the other thing is, I feel like they've dumped so much that it's like I don't want to spoil. I like some leaks, but I don't want to spoil the entire game this early. So it's like trying to find that balance. But there's been a ton of stuff that's happening, and we'll try to keep to official things that have been actually announced during this tonight. So if you're worried about that, don't worry. We're just gonna go with official Pokemon stuff for the most part. We might hint to some stuff we've seen from them, but that has been confirmed, which is why we're afraid to kind of talk about them because we know that they've got legit sources out there. So it's been a crazy week. Have you liked what's been kind of popping up?
After I know that there was drama with them, and after that, I was like, I don't really care, and I kind of want some unexpected aspects of the game still. So what I have read was like, okay, well, reading it didn't really give a ton away. And then with the presents, I'm like, okay, some things kind of match with things they kind of said. And honestly, that's kind of where I left it. I'll just kind of hope for another trailer. And I just kind of wait. I'm just excited for the surprise of it all.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at. I've enjoyed reading some of the stuff to that point, but then it's with how much stuff has kind of gone out, it's maybe I'll wait and get surprised. So while we're waiting for that, though, I mean, we're still got a ton of other stuff going on with other games you can be playing, other Pokemon games. So is there what have you been playing, Mitch? Is there any cool shinies you found? Any games specifically you've been hunting or?
So I mostly just been playing Arceus the free time I do have. Just trying to get more shinies. I have been for a long time going for a shiny Alpha Lucario. Having the toughest time getting it. Hasn't happened. I also would love Hisuian shiny Voltorb or Electrode. Haven't found that yet. I just got this. I just got 2 more shiny Togekiss out of nowhere without a perfect dex completion. I got a shiny Hisuian, Arcanine.
That's one of my favorite Hisuian variants.
Yeah, so that was cool. And then I got a shiny Alpha Unknown. That's one of my
sweet.
most memorable ones. Those are.
I didn't know they could have Alpha Unknown. That's sweet, and have a shiny.
Yeah, sometimes.
Which one was it?
It's the letter D. Yeah, so
cool.
It's cool. So sometimes if you catch an Unknown in a mass outbreak, it can have a second wave. It'll either have a star, or sometimes catching them all will make a second wave appear. And then there's actually a new method that we can talk about another time about how to manipulate it and plug in the information so it can read your seed. And so I used that because I'm like, I need some help there. That's 28 letters to catch.
I was wondering if you were going to use, the next question is if you're going to do the seed to get Alpha Lucario, or if you want to get that naturally.
I have tried several different times when I've had different opportunities for Lucario. And I have multiple times been given information back from doing that method through the AI saying there is no shiny alpha path.
Oh, dang.
So it's been rough. And so I've just been doing spot checks here and there, but it's a long hunt, and I'll just keep going. I'll get it.
Dang, that's rough. I haven't done any of the seed checking yet. Because you have to download a software and stuff, right? I just haven't.
No, there's actually an updated system now. One? There's one on a Discord that's totally free, so it's really cool.
I'll have to get that from you then, because I remember when it first came out and people were downloading stuff. I was like, I almost did not worth it.
No, it's changed and updated.
Oh, cool. Good to know. Yeah, I haven't shiny hunted anything in a while. So the last couple of things I've been playing, so is we're getting ready for Paldea and for Scarlet and Violet. I'm kind of working on some cool thing for the channel where we're playing through all the gym badges. So we just finished our playthrough of Let's Go, where we got all of the Kanto ones. I kind of counted that as this for this part. So I started in Gen 2. So currently last night I just finished Pokemon X. So
Oh wow.
I've been plowing through them. It's been probably about 2.5 weeks. I've been plowing through and just like I've been recording all the gym battles. So I'm trying to decide if I want to play Sun next, and I'll count the Kahunas, I think, is what I'm going to do for the gym badges in Pokemon Sun. It's either that or I'm going to go back to Black and White 2. And because there's 2 different gyms in Black and White 2 that were not in Black and White. So
okay.
So there's 2 different gym badges you can get that you can't get in Black and White, that Black and White 2 have. So I think I might go back and play Black and White 2.
Cool.
So trying to figure out which order I want to do that in, because yeah, I mean it's technically, and it kind of stinks because you have to play through the whole game. So the last gym is one of the last ones you can get, I guess.
Okay.
So the last gym is one of the new ones, and like the third gym is the other new one. So it's like if you want to get just at least the last 2 that you didn't get in the first round, you got to play through the whole thing again. So we'll see. I've never actually played Black and White 2. That was one of the ones I've missed. So it'd be I want to enjoy it too. I don't want to like just speed it, but because I've been plowing through everything else. So, but that's kind of where we're at. So, but it's been fun. I think I should be able to have. I'm thinking we're gonna do like a countdown, like 1 a day, probably for like the last 90 days or something. I think is where it works out to about, if you include like the Elite Four and stuff as well. So we'll see
that's awesome.
how that goes. Cool. So I mean, without further ado, I guess let's hop right into the Pokemon Presents. I think the first thing that we gotta talk about is this new gimmick, terrestrialization. Terrestrial Pokemon. If I'm hopefully I'm saying that right. I mean, I feel like my one complaint, I think the gimmick looks, I think it's interesting. I think it's going to just destroy the competitive. I think there's going to be some like super broken Pokemon. I think there's going to be some really cool like strategies and things people come up with, and we can hop into that. The first thing though is that the one thing that I don't like about it is the stupid little hats. Like,
I hate the hats. The hats are dumb.
That like the crystallization of the Pokemon themselves looks pretty cool, and like I think that looks sweet. But then like, why the heck do they have to have this dang little hat where like it just looks funny? Like it looks just so dumb. Weird, I think.
Yeah, no, it was a bad call, I think, and I'm glad we're on the same page because hats look bad. I mean, you look at it, and like say for example, they just gave us Onyx in the game. We talked about Crystal Onyx previously. It's there, but then it's going to have this weird glob on its head. And I'm like, no, like just let it be crystallized, let it emanate the light of that typing or something, and call it good. It doesn't need to. I don't know why they have that there. It just looks bad.
Yeah, I think that like they could have done it cooler. Like I feel like they could have made like this could have been like a megas type of a deal where it's like, okay, you want to do the hats, let's do like a cool form for some specific subset of Pokemon where it's like this is their mega or whatever, but then everyone else can just be like kind of like even like what they did with Dynamaxing, I guess. Like you had your G-Max forms for a few select Pokemon, that'd be cool. But then everyone else can still Dynamax, but they just didn't change forms. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they could have done something cooler with that, but the hats, like someone, I can't remember where it was now, someone brought the point, like you're gonna have a Chandelure Pokemon with a chandelier on its head, or like a Panpour that already has a fountain coming out of its head with another fountain coming out of that fountain. Like it just looks so funny.
It's gonna be weird.
I think the method itself looks cool. Like the method itself, though, I think is gonna be intriguing to see. Like to have a Charizard that's like I don't even try the game yet, but like like a water type Charizard essentially, or like a Pikachu that knows fly, that has fly typing also. And I think it's going to open the door for a lot of Pokemon that might have like a weird typing there that's like not competitively viable because of its typing to like be used more in the competitive scene.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's gonna be absolute chaos for the first half of the year for competitive. Of next year, I think it's being insane because we have 18 typings, right?
Yeah,
18, and we're gonna breach over 1,000 Pokemon, I believe. So let's say even if they did like 800, that is a ton of typings for like terrestrializing. If they all have an opportunity to be all 18 types, it's gonna be insane. Like there's even for Pokemon Home, even if you pay for the service to have 200 boxes, you can't house all the terrestrialized typing Pokemon.
right.
Like it's not possible. It just won't work. And so I think it's going to be absolute madhouse trying to figure out how it works, what's the best thing to do. And, you know, if they bring back legendaries from like other generations again, I think it's going to kind of screw it up more. So
Totally.
like bringing, like you said, Kyogre with like a Hydro Pump when it's terrestrialized as a water type, where it's 2 times effective, that's broken. We don't need that.
Yeah, it's going to be like teams are going to have to, like, you're going to have to figure out what like team D counter. And the hard thing too is like the other thing we talked about before we kind of started is like, so like a Latios, like if you get that an electric terrestrial version, they know they can learn like Thunder and Thunderbolt. So they're going to have that double stab. And then they also have Levitate. So then they're not going to be affected by ground type moves, which will be their de facto weakness. So they don't have a weakness essentially. So it's like, you got to figure out that. And then like, even like the other thing I was just like thinking about is like, you're going to have like Snorlax can learn Surf. So it's like, if you have a water Snorlax, all of a sudden this beefy boy that's like, unless you have something to counter electric, like there's so many different like counters you're going to have to think of. And if somebody has like a normal type Pokemon or like a water type Pokemon, you think that you have the counter for it. If they terrestrial into something totally different, like you're hosed.
Yeah, no, it's going to be chaotic and crazy. And I think it's a cool mechanic. I'm excited to see how it works. I kind of want to jump into the competitive scene more with this new games coming out. Especially, I didn't really announce anything about ancient or like futuristic forms, but I think that's going to be present. And so I'm excited to see how that plays into competitive as well. The biggest question I had about it all is, if you transfer Pokemon in from other games, are they already going to have set terrestrial forms like set to their coding? So that's something I'm interested to see. If like either going to have those forms or like, I guess typing is already fit to them, or they're not going to have any at all. I don't know.
That's good. That's a good point. I wonder, another thought too, kind of along that, I wonder how quickly they even integrate like home compatibility. Because like we see like BDSP and Arceus that took them a couple months.
Yeah.
So it's like, at what point do they, I mean, I wonder if this, I kind of hope that with this being like a mainline game, that this is like, they're a lot quicker to kind of add that in, where if like BDSP is like I felt it was less critical. Like, yeah, it's fun to be able to bring in some of your guys, like your other Pokemon, those types of ones. But like with the competitive scene being moved to the new generation, you know, people are going to want to be transferring a lot of those Pokemon that they've spent hours and hours and hours like hunting and like respecking out and stuff, that they're going to need to be able to bring those in. But I think they said that there is a way that you can get items. I think in those like the new max raid dens or whatever,
those look like, cool. I think it's a cool update.
Yeah, like I think in those, like you like in in Sword and Shield, you could get like your candies and your other like rewards to like tweak stuff. So it sounds like you're going to be able to get items that you can change their terrestrial type with. Because I think that's going to be like, the other thing is like, I hope that they make it easier to jump into the competitive scene with this, because I think that's like with Sword and Shield, they make it a little bit hard sometimes. Like you're gonna have to grind and put so many hours in to get the Pokemon that you want with the specific nature and the specific move types. You know, I think that they can make it hopefully they can make it a little bit easier to kind of hop in, and if they can make it so you can change the terrestrial types a little bit easier instead of having to grind and hunt for the specific typing of specific Pokemon you're wanting. That'll make it a little bit easier, I hope. So.
Mm-hmm. And that's saying something, because out of the competitive scene, Sword and Shield has been the easiest one to get involved in in competitive Pokemon battling. I did some research into what people did for Black and White, and it was absolutely insane to like find the perfect Pokemon you need, and et cetera, and it's crazy. And so hopefully this does make it easier. I hope that you just have these little crystals pop up in every single area across the map. I mean, the map is huge. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 or 13 different like areas that are like across the map. It looks like regions or like environments. And so I'm excited to see those, and I hope as your journey, they just are kind of always there. You can just constantly do them, and it's not like a set time or amount each day, in-game day or whatever. But
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it definitely, like, yeah, it's like, I understand making it difficult and wanting people to have to like participate in the game, I guess, and to actually have to play it. But at the same time, it's like there's already so much strategy and like battle planning that goes in to be able to make it a little bit easier. And I guess not to make the game itself easier, but like being able to like, and maybe it's a post-game thing even, like just be able to respec after you've already beaten everything to make it a little bit easier to be able to then go and enjoy the online side of it. Because like I've gotten just like, I've had battles like online with Sword and Shield where it's like you wreck someone and it's fun and it's cool because you're like, oh sweet, I just flew through this guy. But then there's like times where you're like, I didn't even hardly touch this other guy because I'm not like my Pokemon were not stacked out the way they should be, or I'm using something totally wrong for what I really should be trying to do,
Yeah.
So I mean, kind of going along multiplayer, are you like, do you think that, like, I personally think this looks a lot better for the multiplayer, like when they showed some of it. Do you agree? Do you think that you want to see more still? Like, what are your thoughts on like what they showed for the multiplayer part so far?
I feel like they didn't show us enough of what it kind of includes. Like, if you encounter a shiny, because like, are you and your friends gonna like race to see a shiny, or like they didn't mention anything about if overworld shinies are going to be in game again. I don't know if they will be.
Yeah, they haven't said anything specifically. And
so I don't know, like, are you guys going to be encountering the same Pokemon or the same spawns showing up for you too? So like, are you like shiny racing against each other? That just sounds really fun. And I want to see more of what they want us to do during that multiplayer mode. So I'm excited about that. I think it's going to be really good. It's going to, if any game's going to bring people back to the franchise to play, it's this one. We're having an open world game, and for having it so multiplayer based.
Oh, totally. I think this one will bring a lot of people back to Pokemon, especially people that, like you said, that if it's like if Pokemon in the past has been too linear for them, or like they haven't played in a while, like an open world. Like, I feel like this is like, I thought like Legends Arceus was like the Breath of the Wild moment for Pokemon.
Yes.
But like this is more like I really kind of believed it at the time. But now like looking at this is like this is the Breath of the Wild moment for Pokemon. And like that was like the Twilight Princess moment for Pokemon.
Yeah. And I think with the open world aspect of it, you're still flying around. Like, for example, if you're flying around in Arceus around the volcano, you can't, like, I get they don't want you to fall in the lava, don't want to hurt your character that way. But like, you can't even fly over the lava. And it's just really restrictive. It's like this weird tiny linear path you're trying to fly down, and it's awkward. So I'm wondering if they're going to like gate us off like that again, or have out of bound areas. But like, the nice thing I loved about Breath of the Wild was that everything on the island until you get to the edge is accessible. You can climb everything, you can get everywhere. And so I really hope that's kind of the same case here. And that, they say that there's 3 story modes. I hope there aren't like things you have to accomplish first before you can go to the next area. I hope you can just travel and go.
Yeah, that's what it may sound like. Like they said that the gyms are playable in any order. The one thing that I do think, which is kind of a bummer, is that they're not scaling the gyms in any way. So it's like they're like, oh, you can search out a super strong gym leader if you want to, but it's like if you're early in the game and like if I've got like a level 12 Fuecoco, I'm not going to want to go fight the final gym leader who's got a level 60 Titan or whatever, you know, like it's cool. Oh, I can challenge any gym leader, but it's like I want to, like, you're still more than likely you're going to go play them in the order still, because you're going to need to play them in the order just because of how your Pokemon are going to level up. And maybe with like the raid dens, it's similar to like what happened in the wild area Sword and Shield, how you could get like the candies or whatever to level up your Pokemon like ridiculously quickly.
Well, also, if they're not doing a scaling system, if you're going to travel to a further place, the Pokemon are probably stronger too. So you could easily, maybe luckily, catch a stronger one and kind of just wedge your way in that way.
But then, I guess, I guess I forget. Like, it used to be like Pokemon of a certain level would only obey you depending on whatever gym badges you had. But I guess they changed. I guess they kind of changed that though, and it was just more anything you naturally caught, you could use. Because then there was like only traded Pokemon that would be like level restricted, I guess.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if that rule's still there. I feel like they kind of, this idea of how the structure of the game goes really well, I can foresee this happening for almost every game, like main series game in the future. And hopefully, I would hope to some aspect in remakes of regions. I would love this kind of aspect to be applied to like a Unova region, because that it's close to time to getting a remake for Black and White in some sort in like a few years.
Yeah, that would be sweet. It would be cool to see what they do with that. Because we get a remake every, I guess not like every year, but every couple of years we get something. Like we got Let's Go, which was kind of technically a remake of Red and Blue. And then we got BDSP. So I think the next ones, we've already got a Gen 3 remake on the 3DS.
Yeah.
So it's like, we got Gen 4. So it's like, it's either got to go Johto or Unova at this point. And I mean, Kalos is still too new to remake those, I think. So you got to go Gen 2 or Gen 5.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
That would be sweet. I guess the other thought too, a kind of tangent on that, is depending on whatever one they decide to remake, we probably get the next Legends game based off of that region too, I would think. Just similar to like what they did with BDSP and Legends Arceus.
Yeah.
I could see them doing something like that, or maybe they do. I know we talked about this last time too, I think, with like the Legend Ho-Oh or whatever, and do the Burning Tower and then give us a Soul Silver type of remake, or maybe they do something cool with like Kyogre and not Kyogre, Zekrom and Reshiram.
Yeah, I think the Let's Go series, it could be improved upon, of course, but I think it was a really cool aspect of it, or making it a Legends game of some sort. I think those are really cool ideas to put a new spin and add more lore to regions that people already love. And so I agree with you there. I think that those have a future type thing of those type of game styles. And so I would love to see more of those for remakes of gens, whether it's probably in the past, most likely, so we can understand it more.
For sure. And then kind of going off that too with like the lore. So it sounds like with the Thieves, we talked about the 3 different storylines. We're going to have the gym challenge, essentially. You're going to have the evil team line, we're guessing, something like that. And then like the treasure hunt, which I'm assuming is kind of go more towards the lore of the region of Paldea. So I'm curious what your thoughts are, because it seems like we're going to get, like based off of the trailer and everything they're kind of hyping with like Koraidon, Miraidon, it sounds like we're going to get these guys like right off the bat, like probably, I'm guessing within the first like hour or 2 of the game.
Probably.
Do you think, like, I'm curious what your thoughts are. Like, do you want like a legendary this early? Do you think we're even going to be able to use him outside of just riding? Like, because I could see him like giving him to us as rideable Pokemon, but not like we can't actually use them in a battle. You know what I mean?
I don't think they're going to be usable as like a battling Pokemon until like maybe we reach the rank of champion or something. maybe we'll slowly unlock modes for like climbing and like surfing, flying, etc. But I think they're just going to be used mostly for traveling purposes for the first majority of the game, like 80% of the game. I think we unlock their potential along the way is my process of it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. The other thought too is with like they showed the different modes, how you can surf. Essentially, you get the bike. They could climb and they can glide. I wonder if we're gonna like unlock those stages as well, or if it's like we're just given like here's the world, go explore right off the bat. Because I think there's some validity to giving us everything right off the bat with that being open world. And I don't know, and with it being open world like they're doing, I don't know how you lock certain features behind like bits of the story, because it's like the whole thing is building your own story out. It's like if you lock certain things behind specific elements of the story, I don't know how that goes. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, and then I'm looking at the picture of that tricked out car they showed, which I'm assuming belongs to like the villain or bad guys. I just hope that they're better than Team Yell.
Team Yell, yeah, Team Yell was kind of funny. Like I said, I've been playing through everything recently, and Team Yell is like the most boring of every single evil team. Like Team Magma, I played Ruby just recently. Team Magma is cool. Like Team Plasma, is it Plasma?
And Unova. Oh, Unova is. No, that's Plasma. You're right. Yeah.
It's Plasma. Yeah. So like with N, I think that one's interesting. Team Flare and X and Y they're okay. I think my favorite so far has been Team Plasma though.
They're pretty cool.
Like compared to Team Yell, I'm really hoping that whatever they bring in for Scarlet Violet's better.
Yeah. And so I don't know what to expect there because every story for a villain is different. Most of the time they want to change or impact the world in some dramatic way, but it always varies. And I feel like the last couple, Alola and Galar haven't really tried to impact or change the world. They've just kind of been gangs. That I don't know. Bring it back to where they're terrible, like Giovanni, like Team Magma, Team Aqua level. Make it crazy, make it hard, make it like awful. I would love that.
Yeah, because like you said, they were just kind of games. Team Magma basically, and Team Aqua, depending on which game you played, they pretty much were going to destroy the whole world. Yeah. Team Flare was trying to destroy everybody not on Team Flare and kill all the Pokemon. Team Plasma was trying to clear out or try to make everyone set their Pokemon free. So it's like, and it's kind of because they all have like their own kind of like, I feel like Thanos moment where it's like, I'm evil, but I'm doing this for a just cause.
Yes.
And then it's like something crazy though.
So I don't know. I hope it's good. That's all I can really say. They didn't really give us a lot on them. And another thing, going back to the gym storyline, we're looking through the website right now. It says that you can earn the rank of champion, but that means many other people could earn the rank, which I'm assuming there's not like a set champion of the region. So I'm interested to see how the like end of story gameplay happens if you reach the rank of champion. What happens there? Like, are they going to invite other champions from like around the different games? Like, be there as like an exclusive club? Like, I have no idea, but like it says that it's just kind of you get the rank of champion, and it's like a place where a lot of champions will gather and come together.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
I'm kind of curious to see if it changes your experience in the game compared to others, depending on how you do it all. So what you focus on first. So I'm excited to see what they designed and the intentions they have behind it as in this game.
Yeah, I think. So if you're, what are your thoughts? I guess so we talked like a little bit about like with the champion, the treasure. in the lore? Is there one in particular that you're like, I want to play that storyline first, or are you going to like are you more of a type of player that like, I'll go do 2 or 3 gyms, I'm gonna go hop into some of the lore, and then maybe I'll take on this battle with the bad guys? Like, how are you gonna play it, do you think?
That's me. I do a little bit of everything. I try to find everything. I try to accomplish everything. Yeah, that's me. I explore everywhere. When it's open map, it's going to take me probably a lot longer than most people to finish a game because I just want to do everything. So yeah, that'll probably be me. I'll probably be jumping around a lot. I'll probably be just doing a lot of the cool raids, or, you know, playing with friends a lot, multiplayer. So I'm excited. And I don't have a set plan. I'm just going to go forth and do kind of thing in these games. So it'll be fun.
Is there one in particular that you're more excited about?
Like game-wise or lines?
Like the storylines. Like, are you more excited for the gym battles? Are you more excited to learn the lore, or like the evil team? I know we talked about like hopefully this evil team is more intriguing, but like assuming that maybe it is there one that's going to be more compelling for you?
I like the lore. I like understanding the region. And so I think the treasure thing will be cool. While I'm not excited to do a lot of dialogue in the school, I'm excited to see what kind of makes the region and shapes it. So I think that'll be fun. I'm excited for that one. Just kind of learn how, maybe more about terrestrializing. Maybe that's where we'll learn more about it. So.
Yeah. Because like speaking of terrestrializing, I need to remember where these videos are coming from because it was interesting. There was one that I was watching. They mentioned that I think it's just a fan theory out there that with how procs, like we assume that this is going to basically border Kalos. So it's like, depending on like timelines or something, that this, like the terrestrialization may be like a consequence of the ultimate weapon being fired off in Pokemon X. So it's like in Pokemon. So then in like Kalos, that's like because like I fired off like 2 or 3 times. Like the first time was during the big battle or whatever, when the giant guy was trying to figure it out. And then there might have been one more before, but then you know that for sure there was a time when Lysander fired it off, you know? So it's like, there's one of these times, like let's assuming the first time created Megas. And then the second time is this like fallout, you could say, from the Kalos ultimate weapon, with how close it is, you know, that this then created the ability to terrestrialize your Pokemon.
That's like, pretty cool. I like that. Cool. I like that a lot. That would be really cool.
I mean, I just hope that, I think there's some really cool fan theories, and unfortunately, I don't know if Pokemon has the forethought, or if Game Freak has the forethought to think, how can this link into like previous lore?
No.
But I think that there's some cool stuff that they could do with like lore-wise. I'm interested to see like what the huge like hole in the middle of the map is.
Oh yeah.
Because it looks like, I'm guessing that this is going to be like the post-game area. That would be my guess, like just looking at it, because it looks like, here, let's do this. I'm going to see if I can share my screen, see if I can figure this out.
I mean, I have it pulled up on my computer as well, but like, yeah, it just seems like it's super blocked off. Besides, like there's a waterfall that dips down into it, and there's like that observatory. Cool. I'm interested.
Okay, is this showing my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so we're assuming down here, this is like your house.
Yeah.
This is probably like where you're going to start the game. You'll make your way up here. This is that main big city where the school is. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but people are assuming, and based off of like a lot of the stuff I've been looking at, that this right here will be the Pokemon League. Like this is your Final Four, your Elite Four area is this cliff right here. So like you're gonna have, like if you're looking at the map, you're going to have like one route, like might be like this way around the island or around the region is going to be the gyms. This way around the region may be like your boss, like your evil teams. This is all speculation. No one really knows. It looks like there's gyms like everywhere. But they're assuming that this will be like, you'll end up back kind of where you started to go to the Pokemon League. So I'm assuming like that this hole, this is going to be like the post-game area. either that
Yeah.
or like this is where like we know that there's gonna be like we have your past and your present. I wonder if this is like your connection between past Paldea and future Paldea.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
This is like a black hole or something, like a wormhole or something.
I think it's also a very easy spot to kind of add more with DLC. I think DLC is a much smarter move than having the sections kind of divvied out, already planned out for a game, than having to do a whole secondary game after you play through it again.
Right.
So I really hope they do that, and I hope that maybe this ties into it a bit more, or, in a real topical region of like a real world, there are islands off the left-hand side of the map, and off Portugal. So maybe we get more of those bigger ones and more opportunities.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that like it looks like if this isn't the greatest version, there's like a way high res image. I'm not sure if I got the right image, but I'm assuming that we're going to be able to surf out into here, and like kind of go off the coast a little bit. It's kind of similar down, like you got this island over here, it looks like.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like you said, so it's either they're going to add some islands up like over here that we can go into. We're all kind of assuming that this is like your border with Kalos. So maybe maybe up here they add some DLC where it's like we get the mountain range or whatever, similar to like Mount Silver and Johto and Kanto. Maybe we get like a similar area where we get to see the borders between two regions, because I don't think correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we've seen any like regions connected as similar to what we've done with Kanto and Johto, right?
Yeah, this is the only other region that you kind of see, you can kind of assume it's connected. So I have no idea. It's unprecedented for them to want to intertwine two regions again, I feel like.
Yeah, because so like in theory we could have Kalos over here, and then if we're assuming there's Galar is up in here. Because let's see, because Unova is based off of like New York, Alola's like Hawaii, so then Kanto, and I think it was Kanto, Johto, like the first four were just based off of 4 different regions of Japan, so we can assume that those are all pretty close together. And then obviously Kanto and Johto right next to each other, they sharing the same league. So it'll be interesting. It would be interesting to see how this ties together with like the other European regions they've made. Another side note, I was really hoping that this region would actually be like an African region.
Me too.
I think they need to do an African-based Pokemon region. Hopefully that's Gen 10. We'll keep our fingers crossed, but I think that's got to be the next one.
I agree with you. That'd be amazing. Or like Australia or Brazil, I'd also be okay with. I think would be fantastic. Or like New Zealand, Australia type thing. I think both those would be great.
Yeah, I agree. I think they need to, because we've got 2 North Americas, 4 Japan/Asia, and then we've got 3 European countries. So we got to go Africa or like South America.
I think it would be, I mean, whether they say they did Africa, whether they did it as a whole continent, or they split it up, the possibilities for regional forms is endless there, because they've already done totally. Elephants and lions and zebras and giraffes. They have Lucario, which is like a playoff of Anubis, like an Egyptian god. It would be really cool to see just how it can all differ and change. So I think Africa is like number 1, and like close second to third area is like Australia, New Zealand, and Brazil. I think those all have great potential.
Yeah, especially with Africa. Like if we go open world like this, can you imagine like they can make it the most unreal map? Like you could have like a West African sub-Sahara, you could have your South Africa and your East Africa like savannas, and like you could go up into like Egypt and have like your more like Sahara, and then like you could even go like Morocco, so like you could even assume like close to Spain. Like this is, I think, like this little area is like the Rock of Gibraltar, so it's like in theory, Africa's like Morocco's like right here-ish, like
yeah,
super close, and you could have some really cool stuff with that. So I know we're getting way ahead of ourselves, but I am really excited for this open world. Like, this looks huge. I think this will be like, this is the wild area like on steroids, and I think it's going to be sweet.
Yeah, I'm ready to sink tons of hours into it. I'm so excited. It looks like a great game, and I'm ready to explore every nook and cranny of like this region. I was looking at like the top right by the clouds, and it looks like it's kind of mountain blocked off. Like, it looks like a very mystical kind of grove area, and I'm excited to see what that's about. That looks like my favorite area so far. So
yeah, I think that looks. I hope maybe they'll do a thing. I'm hoping they're. Do you remember like with Sword and Shield, they did like the Glimwood Tingle, or is that what it's called? Glimwood Tingle? What's their
Tangle? Yeah,
Tangle. Like, they had like the little cam, and like at the end they revealed the Galarian Ponyta. Like, I think that'd be cool. Like, do something like up here, like another cam. I think this area will be cool. I always have really liked the ice areas, so I'm excited to see like the snow area, ice area up here. I'm assuming like, so my guess would be like, this is where we see like the Titan. It's probably somewhere over here or over there. But so kind of going back to the presents too, and talking about the Titan, like what were your thoughts on the new Pokemon they showed off with what you so lovingly called the Pooper?
Paldean Wooper. Paldean Wooper. They're shortening it to Pooper. I mean, he's this like ugly brown color, but I love that it's like this crossbone skull type look for him. And I'm excited to see what the Quagsire evolution is like. But yeah, so I thought that was cool. Out of all the, I think that they showed Titan, Wooper, and what else did they show? Is it just those two?
Titan, no, there was Fido. You got the bread.
I love.
Which is the play on the actual Fido dog, which there's a dog, which is the Fido. It's an Italian dog. So Fido looks pretty cute.
Fido's adorable, and I don't care how bad it is or how good it is, it's going to be on my team. I saw someone saying on, I think, Twitter, they were like, we all know Fido is going to evolve into Doberman, but like the word Doe. And I'm like, that's perfect. Like, please say that's right. And so Fido is adorable, this like little bagel dog, and it's so cute. And so, yeah, that's on my team. So Titan, people have lost their minds about it. I'm not that charmed by it. I'm not that excited for it. We'll see. I guess when like gameplay. I love Fido. I thought Wooper was cute. I'm excited to see more, I guess. I want to know how many new Pokemon we're actually getting, opposed to like regional variants and stuff, and what ones are we using.
Yeah, I wish. I don't. Maybe you remember. I don't remember with the run up to Sword and Shield. I don't think they told us a specific like dex number of how many new Pokemon were there are, because I know they didn't reveal everything. I don't think there was ever like an official like, oh, here's the Galar Pokedex. So I'm curious to I wonder like at what point they're gonna say like, hey, there's over 1,000 Pokemon, and here's the new ones we're adding. So I'm curious to see like what that looks like, or how many they tell us about, I guess, either. So it's like I'm assuming we're probably gonna get another 3 to 5 reveals, I would think, before November.
Do you think? Yeah, I would imagine so, probably about that. I bet they'll do another trailer or something giving us some more info on it. Do you think they're gonna show the final evolutions of the starters before the game actually releases?
I don't think so. If memory serves me right, they didn't do that with Sword and Shield. I remember them leaked.
Yeah,
I remember them being leaked, but I don't remember them officially being announced.
I'm kind of okay with that. I think it makes it more fun because you don't know what to expect when choosing your starting a game. And I like
personally, that's one leak that I actually don't mind, because like I was going to pick Sobble for Galar, but I didn't love Inteleon. Like, I saw the final evolution, is like I was like low-key very bummed, and Inteleon's like he's grown on me a little bit, I also thought like Cinderace was going to be. I thought they could have done a cooler job. Like I think Scorbunny's cool. I can't remember their middle evolution's name now.
Reboot.
Roboot. I think he's sweet. I think Roboot is actually the coolest of that line. I think that he's cooler than Cinderace. But so I ended up going with Grookey though because I liked Rillaboom's design and looked better than Inteleon. But I think like as I had just looking at the starters initially, I was actually leaning more towards Sobble at the start. But then when I saw the final form, I was disappointed. So like that being said, that's like one of the few leaks that I don't feel so bad about looking up because it's like I want to know what I'm getting myself into before I block myself into my starter. But that being said, I think irregardless, I think I'm going with Fuecoco this time. I think he's just I think all the starters. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I think Quaxley and Fuecoco are sweet. Sprigatito is just okay for me. But
yeah, I Quaxley is definitely the underdog, and I love the underdog most of the time for starters. And so I go with Quaxley. I think he's going to be. It's confirmed. I think that we already know they're going to be water and fighting for Quaxley, and I'm okay with that. If he's a better version of like Poliwrath, fantastic. That's great. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see if he's like this sailor pirate type guy, whatever he's going to be. It'll be cool. So
yeah, that'd be sweet. I think with Fuecoco, I'm assuming. I think the thinking is that he'll be Fire Ghost, similar to the Typhlosion for Hisui. So the one thing that I really hope, I think would be so cool to do is if hopefully they bring in like Feraligatr and Crocodile. Like I would love to do a Crocodile team, like because they're all pretty different typings too. Like Crocodile's dark ground, Fuecoco will be Fire Ghost. Feraligatr, I'm pretty sure is just pure water. I don't think he ever got a second typing.
No, he didn't.
I don't think those are only three that I can think of that are like Croc Pokemon. Maybe there's someone else I'm missing.
I can't think of anyone else right now.
I think that'd be kind of cool team with those three. But yeah, I am hopeful that like the Pokemon design so far, kind of going back to the original topic of this, is I think that they've looked cool. I think like you said, Fido's and knocked out of the park. I feel like their reaction is very similar to like what Yamper got when they revealed Yamper. Everyone was like all over Yamper in Gen 9 or Gen 8.
Bolton is super cute too. So yeah,
so I think the dog Pokemon does a great job.
I like all of it. I think we've seen like Palmy, and supposedly Palmy's evolution leaked, and I don't know if I've seen it or not. But I think Palmy's adorable. I'm glad it's not like a mouse or rat Pokemon. It looks more like like a koala.
I think it's
or bear.
It's like a hamster, I think, or I think a lot of people are comparing it to not a hamster. What's the little like a sugar glider? Maybe is that the word that's what I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
So
I'm glad
maybe.
it's a little different. So I think it's cute. I'm excited. The region looks beautiful. I'm excited for the different areas. I like that there's like a ton of just exploration, and then you have like mostly like little tiny towns. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see Pokemon and I don't know. I saw Sawsbuck in the trailer. I don't know if Sawsbuck's going to vary because it has 4 forms for depending on the season. So either they're bringing seasons back or they vary on the environment you're in.
Yeah, so that would be my guess. I would think based off like if we were to pull the map, I won't pull the map back up, but like looking at the map, it looks like I would think the first area is like either your spring or summer Sawsbuck. In the north, you probably have your winter Sawsbuck. And then you've got like on either the west or the north or the west or the east, you can have like your fall and your spring. So
yeah,
depending on, I think, and like kind of your point that like that mystical area to like the north, that northeast corner-ish, I bet they could put like that looks like a little bit more fall maybe, and then put your summer over and or even the fall. I guess there's like trees on the east side that are like yellow, so maybe that's like your fall area. But that would be my guess, because I think it would be, I don't know, maybe they throw the seasons in. I don't know how well that would be received, or maybe it's based off of the actual time clock. Maybe we got like an Animal Crossing version on our hands too, where depending on where you're at in the world, the season changes on in the game.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm excited. I think it's a great game. I love what they showed us. Of course, I'm greedy and I want more. But I don't know. I think for the rest of it until November, or they give us another trailer, I think I'll personally steer away from leaks. I'm excited. I just want to kind of dive in as blind as possible, especially with the first open world Pokemon game. This is what I've been wanting since I was a kid. I've had this thought, I'm like, this would be so cool. Excited. I think they're doing a great job continuing the franchise.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a good one. So, any last thoughts? Anything we haven't touched on, or anything you think we need to bring up in the next episode?
Ooh. I don't know. I have no idea. There's just so much, and I don't know. I am excited to explore. I love the variation in geographic shapes and styles throughout this region. I think it's my favorite part of the map. So I hope that we can explore the different elevated parts of the region. I think that's the last thing I would say is I really hope we're not limited with how much we can like fly and climb and explore in that sense. I hope it's more Breath of the Wild-esque than more Legends Arceus. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Hopefully, I'm excited to see what they do. I think we'll get something else. I think we'll get one or two more trailers. I don't think they're going to give away a ton. I think they're going to want people to kind of go in a little bit more blind to this, especially with how much is already leaked. And you know that they're aware of what's leaked and what's already out there. So I think they're very conscious of what. And I did see one conspiracy theory that they're the ones actually leaking some of this. So there's that thought. It's like the playground all over again. I'm going to see what kind of. I was interested. I was really happy to see the improvements they made from trailer 1 to trailer 2, and even from 2 to 3, I guess, with how the game looks and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that it's going to be a good couple months. Hopefully we'll get some more info soon. I know we always want as much, even though we just barely got a ton. Everyone's always wants more. So thanks again for hopping on.
Yeah, it was fun.
Hope you can keep feeling better. Make sure you guys let us know down in the comments what you guys are excited for, what your thoughts are on some of these topics. We'd love to get that conversation going back and forth with you in the comments. If you have any thoughts of stuff you want us to discuss in upcoming episodes as well, let us know and we'll get into that. So if you guys enjoyed, if you're watching this on YouTube again, make sure you subscribe and like. It really does help us out. And hope you guys have a good night. And until next time, guys, catch you later.
Bye, guys.